Today I'll be showing you how to build a simple and easy item categorizer for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This is a super easy to build item sorting and storage system that uses different categories to sort all of your items. This is typically considered to be an advanced kind of storage system, but this one is really easy to build. So what is a category of items? Well, you can make something like this where you have an entire category of all of your valuable items, or you can make something like a category for all of your wood and building blocks, or maybe even your food and plant resources. The categories that you create can be completely custom and they can be whatever you want. Basically, you can have up to 50 different items per category, and this slice will store all types of those 50 items. So for example, if we put any type of armor trim or rare resource into our storage system, it would always end up in this slice right here. You might be familiar with multi-item storage systems, and this is maybe a little bit more dense. However, this one requires you to have every single slot in every single chest completely full. So you, in theory, can have 54 items per double chest. In practice, you end up having to spread out all your items with a multi-item sorter, and if you want to pick up a full stack of items, you always need to leave one behind, so it's kind of tedious. If we compare that to a item categorizer, we can have as many empty slots in these chests as we want. These chests on the front don't even matter. This does mean that when items come through your system, they're just going to end up in here and unorganized, and it might look a little bit messy. Multi-item sorters are also just a little bit more complicated and definitely a lot more expensive. If you compare that to this item categorizer, you can see that it's just magnitudes cheaper. If you compare that to a standard item filter, the filter is cheaper and it's actually faster. However, it's not as versatile. A standard item filter can only sort out one type of item. So as you can see, item categorizers are quite the flexible and customizable system, and they're pretty great for the mid-game where you have a medium amount of items for a lot of different stuff and you really just want to categorize them. So how do item categorizers actually work? Well, this is by far the simplest and cheapest item categorizer that I've seen for Bedrock Edition. I came up with this design a couple of months ago, and compared to other categorizers that I've seen, they're like huge. There's tons of redstone, so this is definitely a super cheap way of doing it. We have a hopper minecart with our sorting items in it. These are going to be put into the storage system. So we got diamonds, for example, and then we just got some filler items so that it can only pick up diamonds. When this goes underneath these chests, it's going to search every single slot really quickly, and it's going to pull out the exact item that it's looking for, and it's only going to affect one category. So as you see, this goes under there and it pulls out that diamond. That's going to change the signal strength of the redstone and unlock this hopper right here. As you see, the other two slices are still locked. When the minecart goes to get unloaded, all of those items are going to go across the system until they find the unlocked slot. The one diamond is going to go back into the category chest. That way we can use it again. And then all the rest of your diamonds are going to go into here. So as you can see, the core redstone is really simple, and that's basically what this whole blob of chests right here is. Everything else around here is just for moving the minecart and for some timings. So to give a proper demonstration of the system, we can throw 64 logs in there. This hopper minecart is going to pick up exactly 63. That way it can pick up one more item from our category chest. So all of our logs are going to get drained from that minecart, go into the correct slice, and end up in the right category chest, as you can see here. And then once that minecart is unloaded, it'll go back to the beginning and pick up any items that are left over. Once this chest is empty, the minecart will stop. It's all automatic. So as you can see, it sorts about 5,500 items per hour. So this system can also be expanded or shrank as much as you want. You can make this 20 slices wide. You can make all of these just be a single double chest of storage, or you can expand vertically to have more storage per slice. By the way, this chest right here is your overflow, so any non-stackable items or items that you don't have in a category will end up in here. Also, you cannot have one item be in two different categories, otherwise that will break the system. So if you have diamonds in category 1, you can't also have diamonds in category 2. And let's jump into the tutorial, shall we? For your convenience, there is a full materials list down in the description of the video. The build area is 10 blocks wide, 10 blocks deep, deep. It is 9 blocks above ground and 1 block below ground. So we're going to start off by building the category slice. So go to the 4th block over in your build area and place in a sideways double chest. We're going to place in 3 of these with 3 hoppers behind it, and then a double chest up like this to the side of it. Now we also need another double chest right here. This is where your actual category items will be going later on. We need a hopper facing downwards and a hopper facing to the side like that. Now go ahead and place in yourself a solid block here, and then we want a comparator that's going to be facing into another solid block, and then one above it. Go ahead and get yourself a repeater right here on 4 ticks, and then a target block above that, 2 redstone dust like so, and then another comparator right here going into a solid block. So this is one slice of your item categorizer. As you can see, it's really straightforward. Now we need to build 5 more of these exactly the same, so just put 5 of them right next to each other. If you want to expand your item categorizer, you can build as many of them as you want going off into the distance. And if you want less storage, then you can just get rid of these chests. If you want more storage, then just go downwards. And this is what it should look like once you have all 6 of those in place. As you can see, pretty straightforward. You're also going to want yourself a little trench going underneath here. That way you can easily access all of your category chests. And now we're going to place in the overflow chest. I'm just going to put it right up here, and then we need a hopper facing to the back of that, and then a line of hoppers facing into it right behind all of these comparators. And now it's time for the left side item pickup. So go down to this block right here, place in a powered rail, 2 solid blocks right here, and then a double chest on top of that powered rail like so. We're going to grab a bunch of regular rail going out until we get to this corner, and then powered rail going underneath all of these chests until we reach the very end of the line. Place in a lever down there to power all of those rails, and now we need to build a little ramp going up. So a couple blocks right there, and then 2 more blocks on top of it like so, and then we also need another 2 blocks on the back side just like that. Place in a glass block directly above that piece of redstone and above that comparator right there. And we also need a hopper facing into the side of that glass block like so. Now let's finish up with the rails. So place in a regular rail there, 3 powered rail with a lever behind this block to power them, 3 more regular rail, and then powered rail going up this hill right here. Now place in another glass block above that piece of rail, and then a solid block, and just 2 slabs going out right here. These 2 slabs should be lined up with this block. Now that we have all this in, we're going to place in a powered rail here and here. That should angle this rail upwards, so it should be a 1 angled rail going into another one. Go ahead and place in 2 regular rail right there, and then a lever underneath this block to power both of these rail lines. Place in an upper slab to the side of that hopper, and then a solid block upwards like so. And now we're going to place in a powered rail, a detector rail, and then just a regular piece of rail going upwards to angle this one, and that's going to be a solid block right there. And now for the minecart unloader, we're going to place in an upper slab right here, and then a solid block behind it and above it like so, so that we have this general shape. Place in a comparator right here, 3 redstone dust, and then a redstone torch. We're also going to place a fence gate on the face of that and go ahead and open it. And now we need a solid block next to that detector rail and a solid block next to that hopper with redstone on top of them. And now we just need to send the minecart back to the start. So come over to this little end over here and place in a solid block right here for the minecart to run into. We're going to go straight down from here and place in a powered rail with a block behind it and a lever on it, getting yourself a regular rail right there, and then powered rail going to this corner. Regular rail, detector rail, regular rail, and that'll send the minecart back to the beginning. And now for the brain of the system, which is the most complicated part, but it's ultimately not that bad. So we're going to place in ourselves 2 slabs right here next to that chest, a solid block going up, glass block going up, and then a sticky piston right here with an observer facing into the storage system on its face. Now we need a comparator right here, reading from the chest, 2-tick repeater, and then just 3 pieces of redstone like so. Now we're going to go down to where this detector rail is and break out these 2 blocks. You want a piece of redstone and then a 2-tick repeater right here. Break out this block. We need a 4-tick repeater right here, piece of redstone dust, and then a block above that repeater with another piece of redstone dust on it. Now place in another solid block above that repeater. This is going to have a 3-tick repeater on it, and that's also going to be facing into a solid block. And then we need another solid block right here as well. And now it's time for the timing and delay circuit. So put in yourself a solid block in front of that repeater, and then 2 solid blocks right here, and a solid block going up for this happy little shape. Place in yourself a piece of redstone dust, 2 comparators right here, redstone dust, and then 2 blocks above those, another redstone dust here, and a comparator right there, and then a solid block above that piece of redstone. Now we're going to break out these 2 blocks right here so we can place in a downwards facing sticky piston and an observer facing towards those comparators. Behind that observer, you need a repeater on 3 ticks, and to finish up the system, we just need a solid block right here and another one upwards and diagonal of it. Place a sticky piston facing downwards, a solid block on its face, and now we need a solid block up right here and above that redstone, and then 3 solid blocks to its side like this. Go ahead and place redstone on all of those, and that is your system completely done. And the last thing to do is configure your system. So we just need to put in a minecart hopper right here and fill that up with 45 items. So you need 3 items in the back like that, and then just 42 in the front. I'd recommend renaming these a special name. That way you'll never have that item come into your chest right here. If you have any of these items come through your system, it's gonna break your unloader at the top of the build. We need to configure our category chests as well. So each one of these needs 3 non-stackable items in the bottom corner over there, and these can just be like wooden shovels or really any non-stackable item. And then you need another 5 stackable items in this corner as well. I'd also highly recommend you name these a special name. These have to stay here in order for the filter to actually work. Now, importantly, every single other slot in this chest also needs to be filled with some sort of filler item. So keep that in mind. Every slot in this chest needs to be filled, but what you can do is you can take out any items that you want, and then like if I wanted this one to be for all of my redstone stuff, I could just go ahead and toss all of those in there, and then fill in the empty slots, and bam, this is now my redstone category. So make sure every chest in your system is configured to look like this, completely full of regular items, and then 5, and then 3 non-stackables. Keep in mind, if you have anything that stacks to 16, like ender pearls or eggs, then those might kind of throw off the signal strength of it. So if you want to have an ender pearl in here, for example, or a sign, then the final stack is going to have to go down by 3 items. So overall, it is going to be just a little bit annoying to have to deal with the 16 stackables. Basically, you want this repeater to turn off whenever one item is taken out of the system, so that should turn back on once you put that item back in. If you enjoyed today's Bedrock Edition tutorial, then of course drop a like and share around the video. If you're new here, then consider subscribing to help us reach 600,000. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys down in the comments and in the next one.